In 2018, one blood pressure pill was recalled in more than 20 countries, not because it stopped working, but because of a chemical impurity measured in parts per billion. That impurity was a nitrosamine, and it exposed a risk hiding in medicines millions of people take every day. So, how do the companies that got ahead of this actually keep nitrosamines out of their products? Hello, I'm Raghuveer Singh Parmar, Director Scientific Affairs at Resolve Mass Laboratories, and we work with pharma and biotech teams every day to assess, test, and control nitrosamines risk across their portfolios. Today, we are going to walk through 5 proven strategies that leading pharma companies use to reduce nitrosamine risk. This is chapter 1 of Nitrosamine Risk series. The nitrosamine story starts in the summer of 2018. Regulators discovered that valsartan, a widely used blood pressure drug, contained NDMA, a probable human carcinogen formed during a manufacturing route change years earlier. What followed was one of the largest quality events in modern pharma. Recalls across the sartans, then ranitidine pulled from the market entirely, then metformin batches. By 2021, a new twist emerged. Nitrosamine drug substance related impurities, or NDSRIs, formed from the drug molecules themselves. Same lesson each time, a parts per billion impurity, a global consequence, and regulator asking why nobody caught it sooner. So, where do nitrosamines actually come from? At their core, they form when a secondary or tertiary amine meets a nitrosetting agent, usually nitrite, under the right pH and temperature. And the ingredients for that reaction are scattered through a normal process. Vulnerable amines live in the drug substance and in some excipients. Nitrites show up as a trace contaminant in excipients, purified water, and recovered solvents. And heat during drying, and you have everything that reaction needs. This chemistry is the foundation because every one of 5 strategy works by breaking one link in that chain. The 5 strategies. So here are the 5 proven strategies leading pharma companies use to control the nitrosamine risk. Number 1 is run a risk assessment across the entire supply chain, not just the API. 2. Redesign the formulation and process, remove vulnerable amines, control pH, rethink drying. 3. Add nitrite scavengers like ascorbic acid, alpha tocopherol that block nitrosamine before it happens. 4. Tighten supplier controls and specifications, especially on nitrite in excipients and water. And 5. Deploy sensitive analytical testing and lifecycle monitoring to catch anything the first 4 miss. Notice the order. It moves from understanding the risk to designing it out to verifying you did. Let's make strategy 1 concrete because it's where most teams go wrong. A real risk assessment stresses 3 sources. First, the drug substance route, which synthetic steps use amines under nitrostatic conditions. Second, the excipients and water where nitrite quietly enters. Third, primary packaging. Nitrocellulose in some blisters foils can shed nitrogen oxides into the tablet surface. Miss any one of these and your assessment has a blind spot. If mapping your own product against these 3 sources is useful, a quick like helps other formulation teams find this breakdown. Not every product deserves the same level of scrutiny, and leading companies prioritize deliberately. High dose, long duration drugs taken daily by large populations sit at the top of the risk pyramid. That's exactly where the sartans and metformin lived. Products with vulnerable secondary amine structures come next. Low dose, short course medicines carry meaningfully less risk. This tiering decides where the analytical budget goes first. The companies that got ahead of nitrosamines didn't test everything at once. They ranked their portfolio by patient exposure and chemical vulnerability, then worked top down. Consider 3 cases every quality team should know. Valsartan 2018, NDMA formed by a route change triggering recalls in over 20 countries. Ranitidine 2019 to 2020, NDMA that increased over shelf life, ending in a full market withdrawal. And the waves of NDSRIs since 2021, impurities formed from the drug's own amine groups, forcing hundreds of new risk assessments. At Resolve Mass, we have supported sponsors through investigations that began with a single unexpected nitrosamine peak and ended in reformulation, supplier changes, and refined submissions. The cases differ on the surface. The pattern underneath is identical. Let's talk about testing workflow, this is important because the 5th strategy, that is testing and life cycle control, ties everything together. It starts with a structured risk assessment, then confirmatory testing using sensitive LC-MS-MS or GC-MS-MS methods that detect nitrosamines down to the nanogram level against the acceptable intact limit. Then a root cause investigation where something is found. Then mitigation, reformulate, add a scavenger or change a supplier, and finally ongoing life cycle monitoring, because nitrosamines can form slowly on the stability. The teams that treat this as a one-time test get surprised later. The ones who build it into the life cycle rarely do. So here is what to remember about reducing the nitrosamine risk. Nitrosamines forms when amines meet nitrite, so control both. Assess the whole supply chain, not just the API. Design the risk out through formulation, scavengers, and supply specs before you lean on testing, and monitor across the full life cycle, because the risk doesn't stop at release. If you're working on an IND, an ANDA or marketed product, and you need a CRO partner who treats nitrosamine control as more than a checkbox, Resolve Mass Laboratories supports small and mid-sized pharma teams from first risk assessment through confirmatory testing and finally submissions to regulatory authorities like US FDA and Health Canada. If these 5 strategies gave you a clear plan, a like tells me to keep going deeper. Subscribe so the next breakdown reaches you, and drop a comment telling me which strategy is hardest for your team right now. Thank you so much for watching this session, and see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye for now.